Good evening. Welcome to the August 4th monthly Board of Education meeting. Ms. Meeker, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Ms. Boucher is absent. Ms. Campbell?
Here.
Ms. Hastings?
Here.
Ms. Higgins?
Here.
Mr. Richards?
Here.
Ms. Robinson is also absent. Ms. Sadowski?
Here.
Ms. Walsh?
Here.
And I am here. With 7, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Next item is approval of the agenda. May I have a motion?
So
Moved by Ms.
Campbell,
Campbell.
seconded by Ms. Higgins.
Thank you.
There you go.
Is there any amendments to be made? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next item is the consent agenda, which includes the regular monthly meeting minutes from July 7th, the executive committee meeting minutes from July 21st, the special board of education meeting July 21st, and the executive committee on July 30th. Can I have a motion to approve the consent?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Hastings. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Richards. Any discussion, amendments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. We will move on to the superintendent's report that will be done by Assistant Superintendent Kim Urlet this evening.
Thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and start with the middle school project, and then we're going to jump right into an update on summer capital facility projects.
Okay.
Mr. Cashman.
Thank you, Kim. It's been a busy summer, as you know, starting with the Runlet update. Back on July 10th, we had the City Design and Review Committee meeting with HMFH, Novus, and other consultants. We have an upcoming building committee meeting this coming Thursday at 5:30. The agenda items are going to be a design update, geotechnical report. All those test pits that we had generated some results, so we're going to review that. A timeline in the value engineering process going forward, and then also take a look at potential tax incentives around the project that we have been talking about to get an update on that. This week I'm meeting with Harvey Construction, and we're going through Runlet just to earmark certain hazardous material areas that would have to be abated as part of the process. All that information helps with design development cost review that will be due just after the 15th of this month, Friday the 15th. It's been a busy summer, so you can imagine our summer projects. Starting out with the high school, we did a little update with Concord TV. We've had 2 very, very large cranes over there for a good part of the summer. 19 HVAC units were taken off. 19 new dehumidified air units were put on. Curbing, all the steel work, all of that process, we're about 90% complete. The projection is Friday the 15th of August will be substantially complete. We have power to every single one of the units. They, over the next 2 weeks, we'll be meeting with Concord Fire and going through and testing out each one of the units so that they can get certified and approved to run full-time. The only thing that we're still waiting on, but we knew this for a while, was the refrigerant R454B. There are some positive indicators that we should be getting that, but we don't want to put that out until it's actually in hand. As soon as that comes in, then we'll be putting the system with dehumidification right in operation. The other thing, we refer to it quite a bit as the sinkhole, but we're technically calling it the
Sinkhole.
The sinkhole.
It's called the trout pond.
That's true. Very true. The culvert replacement is the technical, and I think we've briefed you. We've had 3 separate but consecutive attempts with New Hampshire DES to get the permit approved. After the 4th request, it finally did get approved. The design had changed the entire time. I'm sorry, the design had not changed the entire time, but it just got caught up in a back and forth. The long and short of it is that delay is causing the actual delivery of materials and the construction to go into the fall of the school year. So what I'm going to recommend, and I've talked with Kathleen, is we've already put a purchase on the materials, that they get held in the contractor's yard, and we put it till next summer, right after school gets out. One thing you'll remember is back in the summer of 2024, we did a temporary fix. We put plating over the gaps and the holes where we were having it. And with 2 past heavy summers with rain, that's held. So I think it is in our best interest to secure the material, have it on hand, plan for it to happen next summer. Should there be an emergency, then we have the materials at the ready and we can get the job done. That's what I'd like to present to you to.
Mr. Richardson,
Okay. Mr. Cashman, does, if we delay this, will it restrict student access anywhere or inhibit the classes or any of our activities in the fall and spring?
If we delay it, no. If we have to do it in an emergency, then we'll do a process right through to make it as safe. But if, with the past 2 years with it holding, with the amount of rain that we had, our engineers and contractor feel confident that that should hold in place until next summer. So I'd like to plan it for immediately after school that's out in June of 2026.
Thank you.
a second.
From start to finish, how long would it take? Like, if we were to do it in the fall, is it like
It
6
would-
weeks, is it 3 weeks?
No, it would take about 3.5 weeks. It's pretty invasive. We have to go in there, excavate out the existing, we have to de-water, so we have to bypass all that water that comes through that, which is quite a bit. We have plans to do it, so we know how we would do it, but it would be invasive to the point where it's in the bus lane. So if we push it till after summer, and that's why we had planned for and wanted to do it until the DES held us up.
And it would be hard to reroute the buses, like have the bus lane on Woodman Street instead of Westmore?
We would have to figure another way to manage.
My Murphy's Law thinking just tells me
Yeah.
that, you know, come January in freezing cold weather, we're gonna have some catastrophe, and now we have to fix it in less than ideal circumstances. If it's only less than a month, it might suck for a month, but then it's done.
Well, it's something to consider.
Yeah.
I think that the past 2 years have indicated with the heavy amount of rain since we put the plating over
it's been okay.
the area, that it's held. I'm not saying that's a forever fix, but if it can buy us some time until June of '26, I think I would recommend that as being a good move. If we had an emergency, we already have the materials, then we go to work and start getting it in.
Mrs. Campbell?
I do agree. I think summer, so we don't intrude on the kids or the students. My question though is, by pushing it out till next summer, do we foresee any significant cost increase? I know we have the material, but as far as labor, renting any large equipment.
No, we've talked to our contractor that was awarded the contract. We did a competitive bid process. The only charge that I would anticipate, which I don't think would be a big one, is that they house it on their yard until next spring. Right. But if we didn't take the leap to go ahead and order the material, then we would be waiting the 4 to 6 weeks to get the material
Right.
and then plan a 3.5 week construction cycle. So it would be, I think we're given the situation that we got the delay, I think we're in the best possible situation by securing material and planning it for
And
June.
are we confident that the materials will be stored in a way that they will not be damaged and need to be replaced?
Absolutely. The site contractor, Merrill Construction,
Oh, yeah.
they store that material, that type of material all the time.
And in addition to the bus lane, it would also disrupt walking,
It goes-
Yeah, that path.
It goes across that path. So there's a sidewalk right next to the bus lane. Then it goes up a flight of stairs, and then we have a parking lot, and then it's got Garrett's Way, if you are familiar with the area, the granite steps. So it transcends and cuts across there, but I think we could minimize that amount of time by how we schedule the repair, sequence the repair.
So we will have an amendment, or you will have an amendment to the contract guaranteeing that the price will be the same?
That's what we will work on.
Okay.
Correct.
Mr. Richards?
The DES permitting, given that we've had a rather challenging time with it, let's put it that way, that carries through next year and we won't have to have any other reapprovals or anything else that could delay it?
That's correct.
Okay,
We
so
had
we're
a
good.
team of consultants. We we kept getting the rejection, back and forth, back and forth. We had the civil engineer do the flow rates to show that it was improved situation flow-wise to what we had. And we called for, demanded an immediate Zoom meeting, and we got one within the same week. And it was a rough meeting, but we had to really tell them that, hey, you're over the semantics, you're putting, people in jeopardy. I think if you agree with the plan, then go ahead and sign off on it, and they did, so.
Will this culvert replacement and all that affect the flow of water downstream? Like down in the state hospital and underneath that?
It'll
building?
improve the flow of water, because it wasn't getting the right process because the old culvert had degraded over time underneath. So this flow will improve that. And it, not to get too in the weeds, but it's the diameter of the pipe, it's all the calculations and flow rates that they proved out. And DES finally agreed to it, but it took a while. But unless there's any other questions on that, it has been a busy summer otherwise. Just to give some highlights, I'd like to throw out a shout out. I like to do that a lot with our custodians, our maintenance crew, Mary Wyatt, admin assistant for facilities, and also Brian Martin. We've, all 8 weeks, we've been painting district-wide, so inside and at Beaver Meadow. Outside, you can see painting. We've done a variety of flooring projects. We were able to pave White Farm, improve the ramp in the parking lot, create a parking lot. We're in the process of doing some roofing repairs at Runlet, and then we have a small roofing repair at Beaver Meadow. We've done, as according to our budget and our projects, we've done plumbing, electric, and heating upgrades at Runlet Middle School and at Broken Ground. And we also did, remember the pictures from years ago, we did that ledge repair to Beaver Meadows Service Center. So I'll bring pictures of that at the next Capital Facilities Committee. I'm pretty happy with that.
Awesome.
So that, in a nutshell, wraps up what we did and what we accomplished as a team.
Any
Thank you.
further questions, Mr. Cashman? Back to school planning update.
Thank you very much. Just in preparation for the start of school, there have been many, many curriculum committees who have been meeting, looking at curriculum, revising curriculum, lots of work going on. That's been really fabulous. We really appreciate all of the efforts on the part of the educators. So right now, what we're doing for back-to-school planning is next week, our ninth graders will be getting an orientation at Concord High School, which will be ready for them, open and ready for them to have their little tour of the building and to experience some of the classes, meet some of the teachers, do some culinary work. We have some kindergartners who are doing brief orientations at their respective buildings. We have Keach Park planned for August 19th at 5 o'clock. We look forward to everyone's participation if they're able. We have new teacher orientation, and I'm hoping these are on your calendar for August 20th and 21st. August 20th would be meeting the board members who are available. We have our opening days are August 25th and 26th. August 26th is the day where everyone comes, hopefully to Memorial Field. And we do a welcome by the superintendent and by the board chair. And we just announce the various awards that we have. We'll have the band there. Runlet is joining us this year as part of the band presentation. On the 25th, we have teachers coming in to do some professional development. The morning is dedicated to some AI work with middle school and high school. We have a presenter flying in and some breakout sessions by some experts in the field, which will be really dynamic, and Terry will go over that a little bit more. And then at the elementary level, they'll be doing some professional development around our new SEL program, Changemakers, followed by classroom setup in the afternoon.
Do we not think that elementary schools kids are figuring out AI yet in ChatGPT?
Oh, we certainly do. We certainly do. I think what we could bite off right now is prioritizing Runlet and the high school and filter down to elementary as able. And it was essential that the teachers had the PD on the new program that they'll be implementing at the start of the school year. So biting off what we can chew right now, so. And this opening, let's see, the first day of school for students are August 27th and 28th, followed by a break for Labor Day. It's all happening very quickly.
Too quickly, according to members of my household. Okay, anything else?
No.
Any questions? And then, item 2 under this was reorganization proposal for student services. We're gonna hold that for now. And number 5 is just the school board voted at its July 21st meeting to resubmit 2 proposals to the New Hampshire School Board Association that we had submitted last year. One was on gun-free school zones, and one was on universal school lunches. They are unchanged from last year. And they were due August 1st, which is why we did it at the 21st meeting. Great. AI discussion, Ms. Wolf and Ms. Rowett?
Yes, we'll go ahead and start with Ms. Wolf, page 24 and 25 in your board book.
Do we have anything for the,
Are we going to project anything?
I did not. It's the same thing. It is in the board book, which is online on page 24 and 25. We just wanted to go over.
and I appreciate that, I do, when we can, if we can project in the rooms
Okay,
for the
sure.
people who are in the room and don't have access to a computer at the moment, would be helpful in the future.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we just wanted to provide you a quick update of where we are with AI. We could talk for a very long time if we so chose. We have had an AI team, we want to call it an AI exploration team, for about 1.5 years. And we started, I would say, it was kind of slightly earlier days of ChatGPT and some of the other things, and we were taking a look at it. On our team is IT, digital learning, some digital learning specialists. Jack is on it with us, Kimberly Arlaw, and myself. And then we have people rotating in and out, kind of as interested, who want to talk about different issues. A year ago, we did give permission to staff to experiment with it for themselves, for their own learning, try to build some, competency for themselves and practice. We know that several have, but it's not across the board. What was really important, we felt this was covered under existing policy, or we've been using our acceptable use policy, which covers technology, but it was last updated in 2004. It has diskettes in it and pagers, but it's still covered broad technology, and also under teacher good practices of not sharing student data. And so that's where we were last year. Several of us did a lot of different workshops, professional development, that kind of thing. This past spring, the high school definitely saw an uptick in requests by both teachers and student use, creative student use, and also not some so great student use. And I think that what we're going to see moving forward is more kind of spillover of maybe some of the negatives on the personal side, right? So trying to prepare for that, get ahead of it. This is something that's moving so fast. And there's also talk of ChatGPT 5 coming out anytime, which who knows what that's going to have. So we're trying to build kind of a foundational structure that we can move forward with. We have 3 subcommittees. So one is policy. We've done some preliminary review of policy, other policies, and we'll bring that to the policy committee. As long as digital citizenship agreements, which students, agree to follow the rules in the beginning of the year. Professional development for staff, and that includes teachers. We have one administrative assistant who is begging for the pro level. She says it saves her so much time. She will be demonstrating. She does not know that yet at our retreat for administrative assistants, and also for just central office staff. So we have a variety of different ways of how do we use this to make us more effective you know, and especially kind of wrote things. And we know Matt has enjoyed experimenting with it some too. And so then we also have a tools subcommittee that is evaluating. I'm sure you know that everybody wants to sell us products, you know, and they have a wide variety of budget line items. And so there's a tools committee too that we're taking a look at. All of these will reconvene this fall, and we'll continue to do that work. We did have a pilot back in the spring. It didn't lasted about a month. One of the things that we discovered was that it didn't work. Our technology didn't work very well. We didn't have broad access. That was actually helpful for us. We do have Microsoft Copilot is embedded in our license. It's sort of like, we could call it a junior version. We also did notify parents. And Kylene Shalaka said she did get good feedback from parents. Parents called, and again, it gives us an idea of what families will be looking for as we move forward with
And what
this.
did they do in the pilot? I'm just curious.
One of them was English.
2 English teachers.
2 English teachers and 2 CRTC teachers. Some of it was, one of the ones that really stood out was a project that they had been working on for months and months and months. So they had been rereading their essays, rewriting, revisioning. And so they uploaded it and said, have I met my thesis statement?
Yep.
And it gave them feedback on how they constructed it and did not construct it. So I think that that's a big thing is we're talking as a group we're talking about using it, making sure that learning stays the focus and not the tool. Because we see a lot about the tool, and it should be about the learning. We want the kids to be learning, and the other thing, a lot about if they're using it well, it should unleash more creativity, not dampen creativity. And the other thing that was really interesting is a student gave some very specific feedback that she felt her humanity was being stripped away by using the tool. Which again, to hear this from kids was really good. So we plan to continue those conversations into the fall, talking to students more. And the one thing we have not done yet is talk to families. And so that's something that we plan on doing also, is talking to families. We do want to do PD for elementary teachers, but this is not something we're probably going to see that we're going to do direct work with at the elementary level in the shorter term. But AI literacy and understanding AI will be important, but those are also things that we need to develop over the fall. And I think that's the biggest thing. We wanted to make sure that you were in the loop. We're actually really excited, or I'm really excited about our PD Day. We have 3 different workshop speakers. We're going to be breaking people up by ability level and by subject level and doing a lot of, I think, great stuff. And it should be good building some connections for future work too, because this is going to be something that's going to be ongoing. And the person that we're working with, Kim had seen at the Administrators Association, he's coming to meet with another school district also. So we'll hope to continue that work with some of our peer districts also, so we're not doing this on our own. And then I think, when you would like us to come back and offer more information, when you'd want to do policy, all of that's things for you guys to think about.
I mean, I would think as soon as you have the draft plan, it should be presented to the appropriate committees at the very least, and maybe a full board presentation. And I would think the appropriate committees would at least be instructional and policy.
Yep.
Questions?
Just
Ms.
curious, what is, industry standard in public education? Is there an AI that the industry is tending to go to? I know for me, we'd use a lot of Copilot, but I'm curious if we're seeing in public school a certain.
I would say no. Some of the, we had actually CRTC brought in AI for education, right? They were good. They were very good for the teachers. She was able to use Perkins grant funding to pay for that training.
Yeah.
She highly recommended that you stick with free tools. It's more about the learning about how you ask it questions. And she was not a fan of some of the Magic School AI is a big one. School AI is a big one. she felt that those were almost inhibiting because they put in a facade. But then other people are huge fans. So we're going to keep digging into
Yeah.
that. But there's new tools popping up for different purposes
Yeah.
all of the time. And so that's, I think, what we need to do as part of our
And the
subcommittee work.
that was Ann Fowler, that you're,
Yes.
is the she?
No, I'm sorry. The AI for Education trainer.
Okay.
Who had actually founded an AI company and doesn't work for them anymore. And
Okay.
she's now a trainer.
Okay.
And she's very concerned, which was interested about the AI companions. Very, very concerned about those for kids.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
When you reconvene the committees I think it would be great if we can get some high school and middle school students on them, or at least meeting with them to talk about how they use AI, because they're using it. They probably may know a lot more than the teachers on some of these tools. So I think having them come in and talk about what they're using it for, and what they would like to use it for, so that we can understand where to set the limits on them would be good.
And we do have some high school students attending the opening day workshop on AI. And all of you are welcome to attend too. It'll be at the Kristen McAuliffe Theater at the high school. And again, August 25th, starting at 8. The keynote is from essentially 8:30 to 9:30.
Other Memorial Field update, Ms. Higgins and Mr. Richards.
Go ahead.
So we sort of went around and around on a lot of the same things. We're sort of at a point where to move forward, we have to move forward without really knowing that we can resolve issues ahead of time, if that makes sense. The biggest issue right now is parking. The committee, we had the architects there, and so we had a more in-depth conversation around the new layout and the pros and cons of that. More pros than cons, quite honestly, but with the exception of the tennis courts and the basketball courts, everything else is different. And it really was set up that way. Again, we talked about this before, to address the drainage and where is it logical to have a stadium in that, facility and that sort of thing. The parking issue is huge because for a facility with those fields, there's, a suggested number of parking spaces and we're woefully short. Right now, we rely on the state hospital grounds, which don't belong to us. And there's this big green, if you've been to Memorial Field, the big green grassy hill, but apparently the pitch is too steep to have it. It would require a lot of money to do it, and it would need to happen to make it suitable for parking. So you have this sort of parking and a little parking area here and trying to squeeze it in, and then this big splotch of grass right in the middle of it. So all of that is up in the air still, but not to the point where we have to solve it before we move forward. Is that an accurate way of describing it?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So.
I mean, we will, as is now, we will end up with 450?
Yeah.
450 parking spaces. It's approximately half of what ideally we would have. So, but more than what we have now.
Right. And better bus lanes too.
Yeah,
with it being there.
and actually better overall egress and transit lanes that go across the parking lot as well. So, but still people are concerned about the parking.
Have we, I don't know if Mr. Dunn or Mr. Cashman would know this, have we ever approached the state to ask for a formal agreement allowing us to use the parking at certain times? And should we, if we haven't?
So, as someone that's held events there, like I do the Bill Ludy Road Race, I have a contact at the state, and let them know the road race is gonna be 500 people here. And I get a permit, and I'm allowed to park over there, so I've never been told no, so I can't, that might be something that we maybe should
I think what
look into.
we'll probably do is when we meet with the city, we'll ask them, because it's their property.
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
usually
yeah.
organize everything through them. We've never gone around
Yeah.
them, but we'll ask how that process works.
I was using the
Yeah.
collectively,
Yeah, yeah.
but thank you.
Yes.
Yes, I
No, no
appreciate
problem.
that.
Because right now it's people that, like I have to do that
Yeah.
as a user of the facility.
Okay. Anything else? Next meeting is,
On the 13th, or is it the
It's on a
13th?
different night
Friday?
for some reason.
I have to just look in my calendar, please.
And while you do that for next steps, just for anybody listening in, we're not voting on anything until for some time.
We will have to, the city has included in their budget funding for the design, the full design. We will have to decide in October, probably when we finalize, do our second finalization, our second look at the budget, whether we're gonna do that as well. So,
Thank you.
October.
Yep, we'll do that for you. And it looks like it's August 13th at 7 o'clock,
13th.
7 to 8.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's a late meeting.
Okay, great. We will now open up for up to 30 minutes of public comment. I'd ask people to sign in with their name and address and introduce themselves and limit their remarks to 5 minutes, if anyone would like to speak.
Madam Chair, members of the school board, Charles Russell, Ward 5. I have made my living asking a lot of questions through the years and looking for answers, and the public and some of the groups interested in the middle school have kind of been insulated, don't really have a direct voice to ask questions. So I have some questions which I guess might be discussed with the building committee or further on. The current design is for 3 stories, yet for 60-plus years, we've had a 2-story building, and why do we need to go to a 3-story? Back in 2000, 2005, we had close to 1,200 middle school students there. We're now, last I knew, we were down at 750, 770, and we'll see what the new numbers are, but why is it necessary to go to a 3rd story? It costs money to build up and build more and to support them. One justification I've heard is, well, we need to build up because we need all this space for athletic fields. Well, for the past 60-plus years, how has Rundle Middle School athletics and other activities lived with the fields they have? Why is it necessary to do something else? Rundle Middle School is kind of in the middle, a 10-minute walk away from Ironworks Road, Russ Martin Field, from Rollins Park, and Memorial Field. Rollins Park is good enough for high school games, field hockey for the girls, softball, Bishop Brady plays there. If it's good enough for high school students, why can't, and you can almost see Rollins Park from Brady. I think we need to have, before we start building more fields, we need to have utilization studies. How often are these fields being used? I mean, I go home, I get down Fort Eddie Road, and I drive through the Tech just to make some extra time to get home so I can disconnect. And I drive through the New Hampshire Tech, and I see soccer fields that are vacant 90% of the time. It's $75 an hour to rent the big field, and it's $50 an hour for the smaller field. So before we start going out and building all these other facilities, we ought to see what we already have out there. I mean, these are some of the questions I think you should be asking. Walls cost money. I mean, a rectangle is the easiest way, and a lot of schools are rectangular, but I look at the design and I see a big U and I see a lot of outside walls. It costs money to build walls, and particularly if you're going up on the 3rd story. People have questions about why a gym is on the 2nd floor. I've spoken in passing to the fire department. They said, well, we have life safety codes, but if you got elevators to get people up, how do you get them out in a fire down stairways? So I mean, why are we putting a gym on the 2nd floor? That's a serious question. I see a lot of music rooms. I see chorus, band, a couple other things. Not to pick on that genre of subject any more than any others, but there's empty classrooms after school that can be used as well. If we are down from 900, what the design is, down to under 800, do we need as many classrooms? But these are some of the questions that need to be asked. The Monitor did probably the earliest ever story on fall elections, and I'm sure a lot of these questions will be coming up during the campaign. Those of you that are running for reelection, you may have to answer these questions, and some of the questions like, why did you vote for broken ground, or how did it get to be so expensive? So hopefully these issues and questions can be asked of the architects and be answered by the candidates. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Would anyone else like to speak?
Hi all, Jeff Wells, Ward 5. Can't believe it's August already. Time's moving quickly. Sort of to add on to what Charlie was just saying, with 3 school board members running for re-election this fall, Concord taxpayers deserve clear answers on major financial decisions, especially going back to the $176 million school project building aid application. The drastic increase from early estimates and the failure to secure state building aid raises serious questions. These are exactly the kind of questions voters will be asking as they decide who should continue to lead our schools. Questions on cost escalation. How did the total estimated project cost more than double from $85 million to over $176 million, which is 107%, between the letter of intent in November of 2021 to the final application in May 2022? What specific scope additions, inflation adjustments, or design changes accounted for this? I wish to note that the Concord School District paid HMFH $393,000 to craft the school building aid application. Was the original $85 million estimated prepared with any professional cost estimation support? If not, why was the initial figure used in a formal submission? What were these design features of the school building aid application that escalated the cost so dramatically, and who on this board voted for those vast cost increases? Was the community made fully aware of the possibility of such vast cost increases before the final application was submitted? Impact of cost variance on aid award. So did the district receive feedback from the New Hampshire Department of Education regarding whether the dramatic increase from the reduced project competitiveness for state building aid? In other words, did this unexpected jump in project scope cause the application to be deprioritized and we ended up in 4th place? The square footage for the $176 million was 214,105 square feet. Was the square footage of the $85 million anticipated cost, and is there a set of design plans that could be resurrected potentially to build something more in that range of millions of dollars? Questions on process and oversight. Who authorized the inclusion of high-cost design features, geothermal systems, solar PV infrastructure, oversized building footprint that significantly increased the cost? And we're assuming that's what went from $85 million to $176 million. Did the school board vote to approve the scope expansion from $85 million to $176 million before the final application was submitted? If so, when? And did the district consider submitting a scaled-down version of the project to stay closer to the $85 million threshold proposed in the letter of intent, which may have increased the odds of receiving building aid? Or was it the attraction of receiving $70 million in school building aid too much to ignore? This fall's election is a chance to demand greater transparency and accountability. Taxpayers need to know how and why costs soared, what the role the board played, and whether those decisions cost Concord vital state aid. Those seeking re-election should be ready to answer not just with promises, but with facts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
And all numbers were from your building aid application and your letter of intent.
Thank you.
So I can leave this stuff here for you.
Would anyone else like to testify? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Next item is personnel. Ms. Guerin?
Good evening. If you refer to page 26 in your book, we have a art teacher for Runlet Middle School. Mr. Tyler Pike will be replacing a transfer of Christine Nyan over to the high school. There was also a handout that I left. This candidate for a special education teacher at Concord High School was finalized Friday afternoon when the board packet had already been completed. So there's Sherry Burbank for special ed at the Concord High School.
Is there a motion to approve the CEA nominations? Moved by Ms. Higgins. Is there a second?
Second.
Sorry, can I slow you down just a little bit, please? All right, so the motion was made by Barb.
And second by Ms. Campbell.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion?
I'm excited to have Sherry back. She's fantastic.
I just got a question about the M14 status. Was this person previously employed in the district and left and now is back?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And into the same position?
Special education, yes.
Okay. That's great. Thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Fall coach?
Okay, page 27, we have Maggie Brown for freshman girls soccer and Erica Markson for freshman girls volleyball.
I move to approve both of these nominations.
Is there a second?
Second?
Moved by Ms. Campbell, second by Ms. Hastings. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And update, just a general update on district hiring for the next school year?
Correct. So we are still currently looking for a .6 occupational therapist. We are looking for a speech-language pathologist at Beaver Meadow. Runlet does have a .6 music position available, but I understand from Mr. Richard that he does have a finalist in the queue. We do need a .5 music position at Broken Ground. We do have, as mentioned previously, we are looking for instructional aides, food service, and bus drivers.
Bus drivers, both
Bus-
CDL
Both
and
CDL and
non-CDL.
non-CDL bus driving positions. And there are a few custodial positions available as well. And always substitute teachers.
Any questions? Next, I think we have in our books the enrollment reports. On page 28. Which, I did speak to Superintendent Murphy today, and she did say she was watching the second grade at Beaver Meadow to see if we need to add some teaching assistants or another class. But that is the class size that she's concerned about at this moment.
I see.
Otherwise, things are pretty much steady.
They're creeping up at Broken Ground too, it looks like.
They're not small, no. Oh,
Five.
no, yeah.
We're at 22 and 23, fifth grade.
I have a question. Do we have the historic numbers, at least for the last 3 to 5 years, on our students, special education students out of district placement homeless, like a yearly average?
I'm sure we do, or we could come up with it because it's
That would
in
be
our,
interesting,
it's in
yeah.
our report every month. If someone could,
That would be great. Just
somebody might be able to,
demonstrate-
Chat
yeah.
GPT might be able to pull that for us
Yeah.
quickly.
True.
The
Oh,
only
actually.
thing we don't have like really good data on is homeschooling notifications because we get notified once.
Right, that's fair.
But, okay.
Thank you.
And then, calendar. Building committee is meeting this Thursday. Communication and policy on the 11th. finance, followed by instructional on the 13th. Executive, followed by city and community on the 18th. Then there's the back to school fair on the 19th. And a rain date of the 20th at Keach Park. There is and the new staff orientation, 8:30 in the library at the high school. Is that the same? Or
I'm sorry, it's at
board?
Abbott Downing School.
Oh, right, because, yeah. So which day is it that you're hoping board members can come?
The first day.
So the 20th at what time?
We would start, if you were there 8:15, that would be great.
And at Abbott Downing this year, because I would just go to Main Street. 21st is the Ready to Learn Fair at RMS, and a potential negotiations committee meeting on the 21st at 5 p.m. Capitol Facilities at 5:30, opening day ceremony at Memorial Field at 8 a.m. on the 26th. First day of school, Labor Day. On September 2nd, the board will host its annual information session for people interested in running for school board. I think we're doing that here. And then open houses at CMS on the 4th and RMS on the 4th. Monthly meeting the 8th. Filing for school board opens on the 9th. Building committee at 5:30 on the 10th. Chamber of Commerce, State of the City Schools at Concord High School Gratitude at 7:45, and the high school open house that evening, which is why the building committee is on the Wednesday. Finance committee, followed by city and community on the 15th, communications and policy on the Wednesday, ADS, BMS, BGS, and Millbrook open houses on the 18th. Filing closes for the Board of Education on the 19th. Multicultural Festival, 21st, 20th and 21st, or just one day, Jess?
Just the Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Executive Committee on the 22nd, instructional followed by instructional, and then we have 2 open slots, which I'm sure we will figure out how to fill at some point. Anyone have any concerns with the calendar?
15th, I will not be.
August
around.
or?
Oh, I'm sorry, September 15th.
You won't be here.
No, that's finance in
Finance.
city. However, if we have a quorum, I'm sure it's fine. If,
But I won't be here either,
Okay.
so that affects
There you go.
finance.
yeah.
Is community, are you gone the whole week, or?
No, I
No.
can. I'll be fine. Honestly, that Wednesday.
Well, I'm wondering, maybe we can just move you to the 24th?
The 24th. Yeah, that works.
So finance at 5 and city and community at 5:30, does that work for you, Barb?
Yep. Thank you. Sorry.
All right, so we're switching the 24th to the 15th.
The 15th to the 24th.
Yep, 15th to the 24th. Okay, anything else? All right. Seeing none, I am going to move that we go into non-public session to discuss personnel issues under 91A32C, potential litigation under E, and
L.
L. Thank you. What was it? Which is L?
Consideration of legal advice provided by legal counsel.
Yes, which is what I mean, not litigation. Sorry,
Okay.
we're not being sued. Don't want to start any rumors.
Okay.
I was thinking, I don't think I want to be in that.
All right, thank you. We will
Second.
just be coming back. Oh, yes. Second by Mr. Richards. Is there discussion? Seeing none, will you call the roll, Ms. Meeker?
Ms. Campbell.
Yes.
Ms. Hastings.
Yes.
Ms. Higgins. Mr. Richards.
Yes.
Ms. Sadowski. Yes. Ms. Walsh.
Yes.
And I am a yes.
We will not be coming back. On video, we're just going to adjourn after this meeting. So we'll say goodnight to Concord TV, and we will hold our non-public.
Thank you, Concord
Thank
TV.
you.